Okay, you've done all your marathon training. This is exactly how I would attack these final days and week before your marathon in order to get the best possible result. The only thing left to do is not mess it up and execute. Here are 10 reminders to stop you from ruining months of marathon work. Number 1, you're in the final few days or the final week before your marathon. There is no training that you can do that will make you faster on race day, but you can make yourself more tired. The job now is to freshen up and let all the work that we've done be put to work on race day so that we can execute the best possible marathon, the marathon that we've trained for. I've spoken to runners that have done an 18-miler 3 days before their first marathon, and they've done that because of insecurity, a lack of trust in the process, and they wanted to prove to themselves that they can nearly do a marathon. And then on race day, what happens? They're fatigued. And so in actual fact, instead of kind of cramming for the exam, which we can't do, it's the physical and physiological adaptations that we're looking for from the training to put to work on race morning. So whilst those people have been cramming and trying to prove to themselves that they can do the distance, actually fatigued on the start line, and they won't feel it in the first 6 to 12 miles, the first halfway. They'll feel it when it counts. If you did nothing at all in the final 7 to 10 days, it would be much better than doing a long run to prove to yourself that you can handle the distance. Let's be brutally honest here. The distance is not a problem. You could go out any day and run a marathon. If you walked it at regular walking pace, you'd be finished in 7 hours. So it would be minimum 7-hour marathon. What we've trained for is to execute that marathon, to pace it to the best of our ability to get a result that is a reward from the good training that we've done. Number 2, this isn't the week to reinvent yourself. This isn't a week to get to the Expo and go, oh, beetroot powder. They say it's brilliant for marathon performance. Keep as much the same as you possibly can. What that will look like for me is I'll have an extra rest day on the Monday before the Sunday marathon. Again, takes confidence to do that, takes trust in the process, but it's going to serve you well come marathon day. And then for me, the rest of the week structure looks exactly the same as previous weeks, apart from I'm bringing down the volume, but I'm keeping the intensity. And I'm bringing down the volume gradually so that in these final few days, in this last week, an easy run, for example, is 50% of what it usually would be. And I'm keeping the intensity there, really short interval session, in order to keep the zip in the legs, to stop the legs from going to sleep. Number 3, okay, it's 3 days before the World Championship 100K. I get to Granada Airport, I've got all the stuff in my carry-on luggage that I should have, and because of the weight, they want me to take out the gels and the drinks powder. So I put that into my luggage, flight is delayed, and I get to what I think it's pronounced as Charles de Gaulle Airport in France. I've missed my connecting flight, so I've got to fly the next day, the day before the race, so that's not great. But when I do turn up at my destination, the race, my suitcase is missing, which has got all my gels, my drink powder, and you need a lot of that for running 100K. And although you've got hundreds of ultra runners from around the world, competing teams with lots of gels, very, very difficult to secure exactly the supply that you've been using in training. So you're on the back foot mentally, as well as that stress of looking round. Long story short, carry everything that you're gonna need on race day: your race kit, your super shoes, a small tub of Vaseline, your gels especially. Put it on your carry-on luggage and keep that with you and in sight the entire time. Everything that you're gonna use on race morning, whether that's 3 days away, 5 days away, doesn't matter. Watch, socks, Vaseline, everything is in your possession. The last thing you need when you're going into this calm state of reduced stress, ideally, and banking sleep, is to be calling around, chasing airlines in a foreign language, trying to locate your bag. And although it sounds rare, happens all the time. Number 4, accumulate sleep now to the point that if you don't sleep because of nervousness, anxiety, or you've just got a hotel or Airbnb in the mix of a party in Valencia this weekend, and you don't sleep the entire night, you're still ready to go to battle on Sunday morning and execute because you've accumulated enough sleep. And get yourself into this mindset of, even if I don't sleep for the next 3 days, I line up on Sunday morning, I'm still going to execute because that's who I am. No matter what this week throws at me, I am going to execute no matter what gets in the way. If you're in that mindset, instead of, well, what if this, and what if, it gives yourself an out, and you might not need that out for the first half. You might not need it for the first 20 miles, but that out becomes bigger, louder when you're getting to the business end of the race, when you need to dig in and it's getting exponentially tougher. Be the person who is looking forward to that moment. There's no out, because you're the person who gets it done. You're the person who finishes the race no matter what. And by banking that sleep, what actually happens is you sleep like a baby the night before. Number 5, where are the places that you would want to go if you wanted to get sick, if you wanted to pick up a bug or flu? Number 1 would probably be an airport. Number 2, probably the flight. Number 3 is probably the Expo. You've got people from all around the world with different bacterias, and you're going to come in to contact with those people or get close to those people. Act like you have just worked your balls off for the last 6 months, and you're not going to let that get in the way by picking up a little cold. So what I'm doing in the week before and in a few days, I'm ramping up, especially before I get on that flight. I'm taking ginger shots, cold pressed raw ginger, and I'm mixing that with high amounts of lemon juice. I'm ramping up my immune system, getting ready for it to be attacked. I'm also having 2 cloves of finely diced garlic left for 5 minutes, something to do with the chemical release, and then I'm chewing that garlic and eating it. Do that 3 times a day, along with 3 shots of ginger with lemon juice. I'm also wearing a mask. Way before it was cool, way before COVID times. Now you don't look like a freak, you just look like somebody who's protecting himself from illness. And if you think about it, we're just setting ourselves up for success and making sure that we're doing everything within our control. All we're doing is we're covering all bases. We're setting ourselves up for success. We're controlling the controllables. We're making sure our immune system is strong and ready to tackle anything that the world, that an expo, a flight, or an airport throws at it. Number 6, control your environment. Where are you staying when you get to the city that you're going to be racing in? What are you going to be eating? Again, if I'm flying to Valencia this weekend, I'm packing in my hand luggage sweet potato. That is my go-to. Don't change your carb source. Don't get distracted by a Runner's World article in terms of carbohydrate and the best sources in these final few days or week. But realize that, for example, if you go into Valencia, unless you've got an Airbnb and it's got a kitchen, it's going to be difficult for you to cook your sweet potato, in my example, the night before, and for me, the night before that. If you're staying at a hotel, very difficult to get that cooked and prepared the way that you like it prepared before race day. So in my carry-on is going to be my carb sources: oats, bananas. I know it sounds crazy, but I don't want to get there and start having to search around the city for the type of bananas that I like. Exactly the same with boniatos, which is the word for sweet potato in Spanish. If you are traveling to Valencia this weekend, then Mercadona, the supermarket chain, is your best friend, and that will stock all those good things that I've just mentioned, if those are your go-to carbohydrate sources. Number 7, for me, easily the biggest point in terms of race success, training success, and what we are trying to build as a marathon runner. As somebody who is lining up, putting it on the line, preparing to fail, to go for a time, a better time than they've ever run, something that they don't quite know they are capable of, and they want to push that envelope. In order to do that, you've got to stay mentally very strong. It is a massive part of the game. And if you think about the greats in any sport, it is always the ones that we remember forever, your Michael Jordans, versus that layer below. It's always mindset, and it's not something that you're born with, it's something that you train. It's exactly what you're doing right now. You're training your mindset, so whatever gets in the way, you are ready to deal with. If you are mentally weak at this point, imagine how that goes as you're ramping down the volume and you're getting towards the exam, the race. The questions and the doubts start to fall in. Have I done enough? Have I done too much? that sickness that I got from my son 3 weeks ago, has that dented my chances of actually running this sub 3? None of that is going to help you, and it's just taking you to a place of negative thoughts. Again, from point 1, you've done everything you can fitness-wise to deliver yourself to that start line and execute. What you need now is to freshen up, stay mentally strong, and start conservatively, knowing that you can execute because you've prepared your body physically, physiologically, and mentally in order to do that with all the training that you've done. Your fitness is already locked in. All the training is already done, and there's nothing you can do to affect that now. Only thing that we can do is realize that overthinking is going to affect the freshness. It's going to affect you being able to freshen up the legs, to put all the work that you've done to work to get the result that you deserve. And all those doubts that creep in, have I done enough? Have I done too much? What about when I was sick? Maybe that won't affect you for the first half because it should feel relatively easy. Maybe for the next bit, it won't affect you. But when it starts to get exponentially tougher as you get into the last 6 miles, all of a sudden those doubts are amplified, and they now sound like really good reasons why you cannot finish this race or why you cannot achieve the time that you're setting out to do. Be the person who is not just aware of that happening, but you're looking forward to it. And in actual fact, that is the time that you get to show up and show just how mentally prepared you are, what a warrior you are when it gets difficult and you need to dig in. Number 8. If we're expecting it to be easy, what's going to happen? It's going to feel harder sooner in the race, and that's unexpected. If we expect nothing to go wrong, everything to be perfect, then we're foolish, right? It's a marathon. It's about problem solving on the go, and it's about preparing yourself for when it does get tough. So expect curveballs, expect speed bumps. You might fall at the drink station. It's going to be slippy. It's going to be chaotic. People will stop in your tracks, but you're ready for that because you know it can happen. So you're cautious around those drinks. You're just picking up what you need, staying out of people's way, and not getting in anyone's way either. You might drop that water. You might not get a chance at 5K and 10K. You might drop gels. Your stomach might turn, and all of a sudden you're not feeling great, and that's never happened on a long run. So what am I going to do with this feeling? What you're going to do is handle it all because you're expecting it to happen. And again, no matter how many of those curveballs, we're just smashing them all out of the park. I like to ask myself, okay, done all this work for the last 6 months, really the last 10 years, and you're going to drop a drink, that's going to play with your mindset, and that's going to stop you from achieving what you set out to do 6 months ago. Is that who you are, really? Or are you somebody who's like, okay, was kind of expecting that to happen at some point. Terrible that it's happened now. I really wanted that. But whatever happens, told myself that I'm going to deal with it. I'm going to get to the finish line. I'm going to run the time that I have trained for. Barring injury, if everything goes wrong, we're still going to get the job done because that's who you are. Okay, last 2 points. Number 9, from the moment you wake up on Sunday morning to you getting to the race, to the gun going and starting the race, your job is to conserve energy. For me, it's way before that. It's the previous week. I'm not walking anywhere. I'm not sightseeing the 2 days before. I'm not getting tricked to say that actually sightseeing, flush blood around the legs, make you feel better, fresher after that flight. I'm not wasting energy. When you wake up on that Sunday morning, it's about conserving energy. You're going through exactly the same breakfast and you're treating it as just any other long run. So we're not warming up 60, 90 minutes before and then getting in the wave, the coral, and just getting cold. We're not doing that because that's not what you do in your long run. We're realizing that we're going to have to stand in that wave for some time. Could be 30 minutes, could be 45 minutes, could be more than 60 minutes. But we're ready for it because we've packed clothes that we're going to throw away just before the gun goes or just after. People will be very appreciative of those clothes, but for you, you're conserving energy. You're not wasting energy, wasting precious carbohydrate, glycogen, trying to stay warm before the gun goes. And it's not until 10 minutes before that I'm packed in like a sardine on the start line, I'm starting to activate the muscles. It's just 10 calf raises. Not doing a full body workout 45 minutes before because I'm stuck and I've got nothing else to do. I'm starting to get nervous and anxious, and making sure the hamstrings and the quads dynamically stretched and ready to be put to work. Exactly the same with the hip flexors. Got to be ready. With the glutes, I'm making sure they're firing. So if that is dropping down onto one leg and just making sure you can feel the glute activating and then nice little kickbacks, that is exactly what I'm doing. I'm not starting to get into the headset of, well, this is not my normal warm-up before a long run or an interval session, and therefore I'm falling to pieces, realizing that these first 2-3 miles are going to be my slowest. I'm going to start, conserve energy in the first 2-3 miles, find your rhythm. And so point number 10, you're getting to the start line. It is like a concert. Everyone's dancing. Everyone is nervous, anxious. They are the ones that are thinking, have I done enough? Have I done too much? What about when I was sick? I don't think I can do it today. It's a little bit too hot. It's loud, it's frantic, it's chaotic. In all of that, you are the calm one. Your only job is to conserve energy, start conservatively, find your rhythm, find your piece of road. Don't be swirling around people, wasting time, effort, and energy. Your energy is not unlimited. We want to use all that, not as nervous energy passing people because we started back in a wave. We're not interested in that. We are executing the training that we've put in and realizing that we're going to run this pretty much like a progression run. And ideally, even splits all the way through, but even better, that negative split. So we're getting the very most out of the body. So once we've found our piece of road, we've got into our rhythm, then we're thinking, okay, first drink station. Is it on the right? Is it on the left? I'm going for that first table. I'm realizing it's going to be chaotic, but if I miss it, okay, great. I'm going to the third table or the fourth table. If I don't get drink at all, don't worry. I'm going to get better at this as the race progresses. When is that first gel? Okay, brilliant. 20 minutes taking the first gel. Don't feel like it, but I'm looking after my future self. Exactly the same with the water. So I'm going from calm, conserving energy, finding my rhythm, to locked in to the task at hand. I'm focused. And again, you've come here to do a job, and nothing can surprise you because you've thought about the worst possible thing that can happen and how you're going to navigate that. You came here to do a job, and that's exactly what's going to happen. And final point, you've done all this training. Treat the Expo like it's a bank job. You're in and out as fast as you possibly can with your race number. Don't be getting a massage from somebody you never met before. Don't be all of a sudden shopping. It's loads of runners there. It's a great atmosphere. There's a pasta party. And certainly don't be doing the Eliud Kipchoge. Can you run Eliud's pace for 800 meters on a treadmill the day before your marathon? Why it's even there, I don't know. But that is not you. You come to do a job and you're going to execute.